Good morning, everyone. So today's lecture is on wildfires and forest fires. So we will be discussing different topics related to wildfires and forest fires. And in the end, we will be able to summarize as to why wildfires and forest fires are considered to be a hybrid disaster. The factors which causes wildfires and forest fires, they are a combination of natural causes as well as anthropogenic causes, and that is why rightly the forest fires and wildfires are known as a hybrid disaster. So that we will summarize in the end. It will be helpful to go through the points, and once we have gone through the points, it will be easier for us to summarize or to conclude as to why wildfires or forest fires are considered to be a hybrid disaster. So let me get the pointer. Okay, yeah. So the objectives of today's lecture, they are the types of forest fire, causes of forest fire, impact of forest fire or wildfires, beneficial environmental effects of forest fire, and preventive measures of forest fire, and in the end we will do a conclusion. What do you mean by forest fire? So forest fires, they are a large destructive fire that spreads over a forest or an area of woodland. The most common hazard in forest is forest fires. Forest fires, they are as old as the forests themselves. So they possess a threat not only to the forest wealth but also to the entire regime, to fauna and flora, seriously disturbing the biodiversity and ecology and environment of a region. So forest fires are the fires that takes place in a forest or a woodland, and it covers a whole lot of area because forests are very old and forests are also very large. It covers a very large area. So whenever a forest fire takes place, it covers an enormous amount of area, and all the fauna and flora. Flora are the plants and fauna are the animals who are related to the forest. They are seriously affected. So forest fire will also disturb the environment largely because there is so much amount of fire, there is heat, there is smoke. So the environment is affected as well as the biodiversity, which is very rich in the forest. You know, there are certain rare and extinct species in the forest which are also damaged. So forest fire in that way causes enormous amount of damage to both the environment as well as biodiversity. Now next, let us see that what are the different types of forest fires. So largely forest fires are of three types. The first is the crown fire, surface fire, and next is the ground fire. So crown fire is that type of forest fire where the entire tree above the surface of the ground gets burned. So if we look at this diagram, then they tell us that what do you mean by the crown? So the entire amount of the foliage. Okay, so the entire length of the trees up till the top covering the leaves, they are completely burned, and that is known as the crown fire. Now surface fire, it burns only the surface litter and duff. So anything that remains on the top of the ground. Okay, so that is the surface. So there can be small plants, there can be crops, there can be bushes, there can be grasses. So this particular part of the land just above the surface, it covers surface area, and it contains a lot of duff and litter. So when this duff and litter which lies just above the surface of the ground is completely burnt, it causes surface fire. And the third type of fire is the ground fire. So ground fire, it is also sometimes known as the underground or subsurface fire, and it occurs in deep accumulation of humus, peat and similar dead vegetation and become dry enough to burn. So obviously the ground fire, it involves the burning of that particular part of the, it may be the roots of the trees or the top soil of the earth is completely burned. So crown fire, it indicates the crown of the trees, that is the entire foliage, the leaf part, so that is completely burnt. Then surface fire is just the area above the surface of the ground, which might include small bushes, crops, grasses, litter and duff. So everything are completely burnt. And in ground fire, it involves the underground part of the trees. So obviously the roots of the trees and the top soil and anything that is related to the particular part of the soil, that is completely burnt. So these are primarily the three types of forest fire: crown fire, then you'll have the surface fire, and then we will have the ground fire. So next we have the natural causes. So let's have a look at what are the different natural causes of the wildfire and forest fire. So natural fire generally erupts due to lightning or sudden process of combustion of dry fuel of sawdust and leaves. The striking of skylighting on the trees create a forest fire. A fire triangle comprising of heat, oxygen and fuel is required for a forest's natural fire to burn. Natural fires can burn for hours before being detected by firefighting authorities. So generally, they are saying that natural causes of forest fire can be as simple as a lightning, which is striking a tree. The lightning happens when there is a huge amount of rainfall. There is excessive amount of lightning. Those lightning can strike a tree and the tree can fall down and the forests can catch a fire. So that is the simplest natural cause of forest fire. And a forest fire can also start from the burning of dry fuel of sawdust and leaves. Now, when we talk about a fire, it is very important to know what a fire triangle is. Now, fire triangle basically depicts the three different components of fire. Like one is fuel, one is heat, and the other is oxygen. And oxygen, heat, and fuel are like the three sides of a triangle. And for a fire to start, each of these component is essential. So in a triangle, on one side we have heat, on one side we have oxygen, and on the other side we have the fuel. So if any one of them is not present, then there cannot be fire. So a fire will start only when there is oxygen, heat as well as fuel. All three things are present together. In the absence of any one of them, fire cannot start and a fire triangle will completely crumble. So anywhere, because we are talking about fire here, so it's very important to understand the concept of fire triangle. So what we see is that the most important natural cause of forest fire is something as simple as lightning. It can also be caused because of the burning of the dry fuel, the sawdust and the leaves that remain lying on the floor of the forest all the time. And the most important thing to understand is that if the forest fire is being caused by a natural cause or a natural factor, then the spread of the forest fire is enormous. Okay, and because it's a natural factor which has caused this forest fire, it is very difficult to pinpoint the source of the fire. That is why even when firefighters are sent to the forest to douse the fire, they take a long time to douse the fire if it is caused by a natural cause, because they don't know where the source is. Okay, unlike in the case of a man-made disaster or a man-made forest fire, it is easy to pinpoint on the source. Once we know the source, it is easier to stop the fire. That is why they are saying that natural fires, they can burn for hours and they are much more widespread, because the firefighting authorities take a long time to detect the forest fire. Okay, so next we have certain man-made causes. So the man-made causes can be anything. It can be because of smoking, because of certain recreational activities in the forest. It can be because of use of certain equipments. So human-caused fires, they constitute the greater percentage of forest fires in the forest, but natural fires constitute the greater majority of the total area burned. And this is because human caused fires are usually detected early in their duration and therefore they are usually contained easily. So it's saying that, that forest fires are most commonly formed because of human intervention, or the man-made causes are more common in forest fire as compared to that of the natural causes. But the amount of destruction which is caused by a natural forest fire is much more enormous when compared to that of a man-made forest fire, because when the forest fire is caused by natural causes, it is very difficult to find out the source of the forest fire. And that is why even when firefighting authorities are sent to that particular spot, they find it very difficult to find out the source and they take a long time to douse the fire. In comparison, if the forest fire is man-made, it is easier to find out the source of the forest fire. Once the source is detected, it is easier for the firefighting authorities to find out where the fire started from and they can control it. So when we talk about the two different causes, the natural and the man-made, what we see is that forest fires are more commonly caused because of man-made causes or human intervention. but the extent of damage or the enormity of the disaster is more when the forest fire is caused by natural causes as compared to when the forest fire is caused by a man-made factor. So the next is that the water quality gets affected. So wildfires, they can have immediate and long-term effect on the quality of the rivers, the lakes and the streams, and the most noticeable impact of wildfire is in the storm water runoff. After the loss of vegetation, the ground soil becomes hydrophobic and it prevents the absorption of water. So obviously, there'll be many water bodies in and around a forest. There can be streams, there can be rivers, there can be lakes. So any water body which is surrounding a particular forest, they are going to be severely affected by a forest fire. Because whenever a forest fire takes place or whenever a forest fire comes into being, what happens is that all these water bodies or the water sources, they're affected because there is extreme amount of carbon deposition which spoils the quality of water. Then once the forest fire takes place, the vegetation cover that is there in the forest is completely lost, because once the trees are uprooted, once the vegetation is lost, the soil, the topsoil becomes loose, and at the same time it becomes hydrophobic, that is, it is resistant to water absorption. So obviously the soil quality also deteriorates because it cannot absorb enough amount of water. Now, thirdly, and the most important effect of forest fire is it causes greenhouse effect and climate change. So whenever there is a forest fire, obviously it is destroying all the trees and plants. There is enormous amount of smoke and heat. So the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is increasing because these forests, why? Because these plants or the trees, they have enormous amount of leaves or the foliage. They can absorb carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis. When these plants or trees, they are damaged, they are killed, the amount or the concentration of carbon dioxide in the forest, it increases, as a result of which it increases the temperature, as a result of which it contributes to the greenhouse effect. Okay, so because there is too much of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and there is too much amount of heat generated after a forest fire, the air quality automatically deteriorates, because once there is a fire, what will happen? The amount of suspended matter, there will be a lot of carbon deposition, there will be sulfur deposition. So the air quality is going to be pathetic after a forest fire. Wildfires have both immediate as well as long-term impact on air quality. As a forest burns, large amounts of smoke are released into the atmosphere. So we see that the major impact of forest fire on environment can be categorized into three factors. The first is that the fauna and the flora in the forest are completely destroyed. Secondly, the water quality in the water bodies surrounding the forest is affected, and that the forest fire also contributes to greenhouse effect and climate change. Now next we have the effect of forest fire on human health. So obviously after a forest fire, human beings will be exposed to a lot of different, suspended particulate matters, certain amount of carbon deposition, certain amount of sulfur. So what will happen is they will suffer from diseases such as wheezing. Okay, there will be continuous coughing, there will be sore eyes and throats and shortness of breath. And the more adverse health outcomes will range from increase in asthma related hospitalization. We can have chronic and acute respiratory diseases, cardiovascular diseases and premature death. So any kind of diseases that are common for air pollution will also happen when there is a forest fire, because when there is a forest fire, they are deteriorating the air quality and the amount of particulate matter, carbon deposition, sulfur deposition in the air, it is increasing, as a result of which it will increase the amount of coughing, it will increase the amount of wheezing, there will be sore eyes and throats, and there will be shortness of breath. And if a person is exposed for a long time to that particular air quality, even after the forest fire has stopped, then people can suffer from asthma, they can have acute respiratory diseases, they can have also heart problems, and these are some of the serious health problems after a forest fire. Now the small particles which are suspended in the air, they can actually get attached to the trachea, the small hairs near the nose, and then they finally go into the trachea and they make way to the lungs. So obviously, the lung capacity or the activity of the lung is severely affected. Now, children are more likely to be more affected by smoke inhalation due to their developing airways. Obviously, when the people are small, their passage or the airway or the lung development is in the process. So, when they inhale more and more smoke, what will happen is that the passage of development will get haunted. As a result of which, because of extreme exposure to the air quality, to the bad air quality after a forest fire, then children are much more affected than adults. So next we see what is the effect of forest fire on the economy. Now obviously whenever any kind of hazard or disaster happens, the three things that are most commonly affected are the health of human beings and animals. Secondly is the impact on the environment, and thirdly the economy of that particular place. Okay, any kind of disaster, whether it's a natural disaster, whether it's a man-made disaster or a hybrid disaster of any extent, it will massively cause impact on these three things. One is the human and the animal health, on the environment as well as economy. So when we are discussing forest fire, we have already discussed the impact or the effect of forest fire on the human health, effect of forest fire on the environment, and the last thing that we are going to discuss is what is the effect of forest fire on the economy. So large wildfires, they lead to instability in local labor markets by amplifying seasonal variation in employment. Obviously, when there is a forest fire, you know that the nearby places also get affected. So people find it difficult to find employment. Lives are threatened, structures of homes are lost or damaged, overall suppression in cost and damage to the natural resources. So that is how a community as a whole is impacted after a forest fire. Now, factors that affect state and local budget in the long term include replacement of lost facilities and associated infrastructure, watershed and water quality migration, sensitive species and habitat restoration. Now, that is another very important thing, because whenever a forest fire takes place, as we saw, that the fauna and flora are completely destroyed. The rare and the extinct species of animals who are staying in the forest, they are severely affected. So since they are severely affected, you just cannot help but you have to remove them, and you have to find another rehabilitation. You have to carry out rehabilitation, or you have to establish certain wildlife sanctuaries which will act as a replacement place for these animals. Now, infrastructure economic impact. So, wildfires, they frequently damage the community infrastructure building, like highways are damaged, communication facilities are completely broken off, power supply is also damaged, and water delivery systems are also taken care of. So, wildfires, they will frequently damage the community infrastructure, including different types of highways. Highways are majorly affected. Then there can be communication facilities are also lost, because when the forest is totally burning, places in and around those areas, they will have no communication possible. Then the power supply will also suffer, and water delivery system will also be at a loss. Now, the business economic impact. So, while many of the local businesses experience impacts like facilities, shipping delays, interruptions in employee productivity, natural areas economic impact. So, post catastrophe management of endangered species and their habitat is a complex issue. So, obviously, they're saying that when there is a forest fire, it's just not the forest as a mainland which is affected, but people who are involved in the forest activities or areas in and around the forests, they are also affected. So obviously different facilities are compromised, then shipping processes are delayed, then interruptions in employee productivity. Okay, so these are important effects of forest fires on economy. But the most important thing is that because the rare and endangered species in the forests, they are affected after a forest fire, they have to be shifted to an alternative habitat. So these on the whole were different effects that we have discussed. So we have discussed certain environmental effects, we have discussed certain effects on human and animal health, and the effect on economy. So the next thing that we are going to discuss is the beneficial environmental effects or impacts of forest fire. So largely forest fires are destructive, but there are one or two important benefits or advantages of forest fires. Like number one, they're saying that the life cycle of some plant species, they need repetitive forest fires. So when forest fire is taking place, it is generating a lot of heat. Okay, so maybe that amount of heat is required for certain plant species to repeat their life cycle. So for certain plants, very specific plants, forest fires are beneficial. Now, fir cones or pine trees of North America and Europe, they open only in extreme heat caused by the fire and spread their seeds. So, like the fir trees or the pine trees, which are present in North America and colder areas and in Europe, because the temperature is always very cold, they require heat. And the amount of heat that they require cannot be provided under any normal circumstances. So, when a forest fire occurs or takes place, it produces heat, and that heat is sufficient for them to spread their seeds. Now, the pine species, they have strong, thick barks efficiently resisting the fire. So, forest fires are an integral part of the reproduction process. Now, this is about certain plants. So, certain plants require the amount of heat generated from forest fire for repeating their life cycle. Certain plants like firs and pines, they require the amount of heat generated after a forest fire for the seed dispersion. When we come to animals, the larvae of certain animals, they require heat for converting into the pupa stage. Okay, so that is another reproductive, very important reproductive process or a step in reproduction process. So in colder regions where the temperature is not sufficient, for the larva to go to the pupation state, sometimes forest fires, they generate heat, and that heat is sufficient for them to get converted into the pupa stage. So these are some of the rare, but definitely these are certain benefits of the forest fire. Now, the last thing that we are going to discuss is what are the preventive measures of forest fires. Now, largely, as we said, that it can be both caused by natural factors as well as man-made factors. But man-made intervention of forest fires are much more common than natural forest fire. So, if the forest fire has been caused by by a man-made factor, then we have to take into account that what are the ways by which we can prevent the fire from happening. So any particular type of fire should not be left open in the surrounding area. They should be completely extinguished. If anyone is hosting a fire, then you'll have to keep a shovel, water, and fire retardant nearby in order to prevent the spread of that fire. At the risk of a wildfire, everyone should be knowing that there has to be an evacuation route, so that when there is a fire, they are able to vacate that particular place and move out. And everyone should be wearing fire protective clothes. Their hands, their head, their feet, everything should be protected. Even their face should be protected, because if there is a fire, then there will be a large amount of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide generated, which is very harmful for the respiratory process. And before leaving the house, yeah, all the windows, the vents, the doors, everything should be closed in order to save people from the damages of the forest fire. So these are of course very theoretical bits. When fire occurs, people lose their common sense what to do and what not to do. But these are some of the important things that we can do in order to prevent a forest fire. So I'm sure that this particular topic of forest fire is clear and gives an idea as to why forest fire is considered to be a hybrid disaster, because it can be caused by natural effects as well as by certain man-made effects. Now, there are certain practice questions for students, and that is like, what are wildfires? How are forest fires different from wildfires? What are the natural causes of forest fire? What are the man-made causes of forest fire? There are certain beneficial and harmful effects of forest fire on the environment. What are they? What is the effect of forest fire on economy? What are the harmful effects of forest fire on human health? And discuss some of the methods of preventing forest fire. So I'm sure that after practicing these questions and going through this lecture, this particular topic of wildfires and forest fire is going to be very clear to the students. That's all in general about forest fires. So we saw that how forest fires and wildfires are different, and why forest fires are considered mainly to be a hybrid disaster, because they are equivalently caused by both natural as well as man-made factors. The only thing is that if the forest fire is caused by a natural factor, then it is less common, but the spread of the fire is more. It is much more expansive. It is difficult to control a naturally caused forest fire. On the other hand, when a forest fire is caused by a human intervention or it is a man-made process, we know that what is the source of the forest fire and it can be controlled much more easily. So that is the only difference. Otherwise, it can be equally caused by both natural factors as well as man-made factors. So that's all about forest fires and wildfires. I hope this was important and this gave enough messages. Thank you.